You have to achieve perfection in your knowledge, in your understanding, in your decision making. It is simply that the level of knowledge you have, you may be good in some areas. Right. The only thing is that UPSC decides to trouble you only in a limited fashion. Those who have qualified at least once, certainly they will be confident, and but they should not be overconfident. Those who have failed to qualify, they may be underconfident, so they should become confident. These tests are mock tests, so it's not that how many questions you do correct, rather whether each test is helping you to improve your knowledge, your facts, your information, your understanding. That way we take the test. We do not take the test like whether you come first or you come last. Certainly, let's say that since negative marking is there, so below certain level, so it is not acceptable. But it is like you should take that learning time. Also, nowadays we have mock culture. It has both pros and cons. Pros is that you are in the age where you have lots of free mock tests. Lots of people are applying efforts for you. So that you can consider. There was a time hardly there can be any mock test for prelims. But it is simply because that prelims are in fact UPSC demands perfection. You have to achieve perfection in your knowledge, in your understanding, in your decision making. Each question is a decision making. And that is how wherever you are, means whatever the rank or whatever the correct questions you get, net marks that you get, so you should accept your position. And it is not that our mock test, certainly you may be appearing in other mock tests. So you may be yourself evaluating where do you stand. And it is better, positive thing is that you should accept it. Rather than feeling negative, feeling irritated, feeling low, those who are doing good, certainly let's say they are on the other side. They are all together on a different boat. But those who are not doing better, so they should accept it. This is how my reality. This is where I do stand. There is nothing wrong in you. If you think कि मेरे ही से कैसे क्यों गलती होता है, सारा मेरा गेसिंग गलत क्यों हो जाता है, ऐसा होता है, तो किसी किसी के साथ ऐसा होता होगा, isn't it? कि उसका गेसिंग सारा गलत हो जाता है, तो सोचता है कि हमारे ऊपर शनि महाराज हैं अभी, isn't it? दिखाया होगा आपने ज्योतिष वगैरह को. So it is like, let's say that it is not that way. It is simply that the level of knowledge you have, you may be good in some areas, but UPSC demands that you should have a level playing field in all areas. Certain level, at certain threshold level. So we will always tell you that you improve your knowledge, information, facts, your guessing, your risk taking, and your understanding. This, don't focus if you are not doing, let's say that, if you think that your marks are coming below 50, so don't feel negative. This, at those who are 60s, 70s, let's say that, don't feel negative. Rather take it as that where I was lacking. If I have read fundamental rights and if I am not able to correct questions related to fundamental rights, it means that I have to improve. This prelims is like ocean, let's say that. You can never become master of that because they can ask n number of questions. Right. Only thing is that UPSC decides to trouble you only in a limited fashion. Because questions can be framed in n number of times, in number of ways. Because nowadays you know how questions are framed. No, the equality does not promote anyhow, isn't it? So that way, let's say, so anything they can frame as a question, natural justice, due process of law. So what more you can read about due process? This is how. So some questions are not necessarily from the books that you study. Already you know, here I am not to tell you strategy, etc. So some questions will not be from any books. They will be simply framed. And when they are framed, so then your understanding is tested. How better understanding you have. At times you have to reduce your risk by taking risk, by eliminating some statements. So still 1 month is left. Instead of failing, let's say low, etc., whatever, rather you focus on the negative, means the weak areas that you have. Some questions you do wrong because you do not read the questions properly. Yes. Some questions you do wrong simply because the question, the statement, let's say that you did not pay attention to that. Any term in that, let's say that. This can be. Some questions your guessing was not, let's say, appropriate. You guessed it, other people also guessed it. But let's say that some people got correct, some people got incorrect. So it's all about, let's say, different permutation combinations. This is how I will tell. And more importantly, just I came here to motivate you and just tell you one message that learn from the tests and improve your knowledge. The areas, let's say, questions, when questions are asked, and in that area, let's say you are lacking knowledge, you should improve that knowledge. This is how the simple message it is sending. This, and knowledge has no limitation, you know that. This, you should not get, you have to reach to a level where UPSC, let's say that, can accept your knowledge. It can match with their standard. That is what 75.41. This. So this year it may not be, we may expect a bit less difficult paper, although this UPSC, let's say that, UPSC is UPSC, but our conscience, our gut feeling is, they may have a bit less difficult, but that does not matter. Because then less difficult means, then rather you will say, no, give the same standard of paper. Because you have made up your mind in that way. So try to improve, because see, there are finer aspects of the things in questions. When questions are framed, a question may be testing your basic understanding. A question is testing your factual understanding. A question is testing your comprehensive knowledge, overall understanding. And a question is testing your merely understanding. This. So that way, let's say that lots of information you get, isn't it? Nowadays, lots of information you have, this explanation, question, lots of test paper you solve nowadays. So they themselves add in your knowledge. This, which can help you, this is what we can say in UPSC. So it is all like, let's say, convergence of knowledge. This, and when you have your day, you can do better. The only thing we have to pray that it should be your day. This. So I believe in nothing to feel, let's say that. We should never feel low or demotivated, although we have challenges. This is how I always say that. Every individual has this or that challenge in life. Don't think that your challenge is more than others. This. So that's why, let's say that you have nothing to lose also. Right? बहुत होगा तो नहीं होगा. Sorry to say that. इससे ज्यादा तो कुछ होगा नहीं. यूपीएससी जान तो लेगी नहीं. राइट. बट टेंशन करके आप खुद ही अपना जान ले रहे हो. Isn't it? Sorry to say that. होना बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है. राइट. जान से भी प्यारा है. Yes. Especially for those who have not at least once qualified prelims, we know that for them, those who have not qualified at least once, for them it is really, let's say that, bigger than their so whatever the things they can love, let's say that. So that is what we can say. So 1 month time you can utilize, and if you think in that way that I have to improve my perfection in decision making, because certainly it is about perfection in decision making. Now UPSC demands not only in prelims but also in mains examination this. So if whatever the situation you have, improve your perfection in decision making. This, and that way, let's say that you will say this. So enjoy your test. Sorry for taking your time. All the best.